In this lesson, we want to use a metaphor to learn a very important biblical principle. And the principle deals with wisdom, and the metaphor we're going to use is the wheel. And we're going to envision a wheel with 3 spokes and a rim around that wheel. And the 3 spokes represent the 3 primary relationships which God gave to us. And it's out of these 3 primary relationships that all other relationships come. It's kind of like the primary colors. Out of these 3 primary colors, every other color comes. What are those 3 relationships? Well, the first one is a relationship with Him. He created us. And in His creation of us, we automatically had a relationship with Him. In the second relationship, He put us in the garden. He put us in the midst of creation to tend it. And so the second primary relationship that God gave us is a relationship to the creation or the physical world. And the third relationship, the third primary relationship that God gave us, is a relationship with each other. When God saw Adam as a single, solitary human being, He knew that Adam needed another. And so He gave him Eve. And out of that social relationship between Adam and Eve, we have relationships with other people. And so we have a wheel with 3 spokes and a rim that ties those relationships together. And that rim is called wisdom. What is wisdom? Wisdom is not just understanding how God wants us to relate to Him, to creation, and to each other, but it's relating in the way that He told us to relate. It's in doing. It's not just an understanding, but it's putting into practice the instructions that God gave us. So the first point of the lesson is that God gave us those 3 relationships. The second point is that wisdom, God's instructions for how we are to carry out these relationships, is the rim of the wheel. And that we learn that wisdom, which is the third point, is not just instructions, but it's actually doing, it's carrying out, it's being who God has called us to be in all of our relationships. And the final point is that when we don't obey God's instructions, to the degree that we don't follow how God told us to live in relationship to Him, creation, and each other, we become distorted and our wheel becomes out of balance. So the wheel of wisdom is a paradigm or a metaphor for helping us to understand how we live in the relationships that God has given to us.